So we're back, and not in the context of playing Pocopia, obviously, but in the context of kind of trying out this new method of doing my videos in a more casual sort of way without any really scripted content or kind of rigid, I have to sit down, I have to record, I have to do this, I have to do that. Kind of just going with the flow, which I think is what my brain has been needing lately and something that I actually enjoyed when I was doing the previous video. So I wanted to kind of keep going with it until it stops giving me what I need from it, right? And so this is a more casual kind of playthrough, and I wanted to choose a game that is not super mentally demanding in terms of making decisions, because I wanted to just, for this one, I wanted to have a specific topic that I'm going to be talking about. And I wanted to kind of go at it from a casual pace. So I'm not going to be using the bike or anything. I'm just going to be doing the running and the walking. So the topic that I wanted to talk about is what I've been doing to kind of manage my stressors and kind of recontextualizing them in a way that is more easily digestible for what I'm capable of interacting with right now. So I wanted to kind of do that with a laid back game like this one. And hopefully we don't get any BTs. So, because that would be really, really stressful, and I don't want that for this session at least. So where to begin? Stressors. I think in addition to kind of external stressors, just life in general, I think as a gamer, it's also hard to kind of reconcile the feeling of wanting to play a game and not having energy or time or something that's preventing us from playing, kind of like, and trying to navigate between those two things, right? Because as someone who places a lot of importance in making sure that I play video games because it's something that I love to do, it's my primary hobby and my favorite hobby. Sometimes it can feel kind of crappy to want to play a game and then sitting down and not being able to, because you either feel like you don't have time, or you're kind of already exhausted from like working a full shift at work. And that's something that I had been struggling with at the beginning of this year, because I want to play something and I didn't know what to play. I was trying all these different kinds of games to try to see which one sticks, but some stuck a little bit, but not all the way. Like, they'd keep me company for maybe an hour or two, but it didn't really extend past that, and it didn't really, not cure, because I know it's not something to be cured, right? I think that's the most important thing, kind of a really important distinction to have, is that it's not something that can be cured. It's something that can be made easier to kind of navigate. And I think for me, video games are supposed to be a really reliable avenue for making sure that I don't get, stressed out by daily life, that I always have this kind of place I can always go back to when I'm, when something isn't going right, or I'm really stressed, and something that I can hop into and just get lost in. Lately, it's been feeling like it's not really helping in that regard, because so I'm already dealing with the stress from the outside external forces. Is this the right way to go? I feel like I should be down there. I really should have rested before. I forgot to rest when I was before I picked up this quest. So my stamina is like really bad. Okay, where was I? So it's like something that it wasn't fulfilling what I wanted it to fulfill. And I think, I kind of had the epiphany last time where I think it's also burnout from starting this YouTube channel. And so that's a reason why I've started doing this more casual kind of approach to still doing what I want to do, which is kind of exploring my relationship with gaming while, also learning something new and learning video editing and getting better at speaking out loud. And okay, I'm gonna stop trying to grab those because I'm just putting myself in more danger. So that's the context. Games were not doing what I wanted them to do, basically. And it feels bad because it's something that I want to kind of keep intact, that relationship with gaming and what I used to get from it. My stamina, though. Okay, let's catch our breath. Is this like actually healing my stamina? I hope so. I think it is. Okay, so we're just gonna heal our stamina as we talk. So that was where I was at. I didn't know what to do, and I was trying all these different things, and none of them was working. And I think I was also kind of convincing myself they were working, even though they weren't. So I was giving myself some sort of, not necessarily false hope, but kind of a false understanding of where I am. And I think that was where the disconnect was happening, because I wasn't recognizing where I was in terms of why I am having so much trouble getting past this. Because this is not something new. This is something that, everyone experiences quite often. Even me, growing up, it was, of course I would have stresses, but I don't think it affected me so much back then as it is affecting me now, because it's kind of, for some reason, now it's kind of debilitating. It feels like I'm walking around in a fog. I feel like I feel like I don't know where to go. And that's kind of like a scary thought, all things considered, because I'm like really exhausted. I don't think I can make this drop, honestly. I think what I'm gonna have to do is drop these. As the container is damaged, but as long as the things inside are not, and they can just come back for it. Oh, I won't make it. I don't think I'll make it. Damn, I really f***ed this one up, huh? And that's kind of like a scary thought, all things considered, because if that doesn't work, then, what will? And so I think what I've been trying to do lately is trying to find games that I can easily pick up and put down. Not necessarily in terms of like physically picking it up and putting it down like a handheld game, which, it is also like that because I've actually started playing my Switch 2 a lot lately, and it's been helping kind of slow me down at night, and has been very beneficial in still being able to play something, but not feeling like I have to commit to sitting down and turning on the console and everything. I think that was a good thing for me to recognize, because oh no. And hopefully we don't get any BTs, because that would be really, really stressful, and I don't want that. This is not what I wanted. This is not what I wanted. Oh, shoot. Oh, this is bad. I wanted just like a quick thing. Let's see if I can talk while being stressed out. Oh no. I was talking about handheld gaming, right? So I was talking about how I've been using my Switch 2 a lot, and I've been using it to kind of slow myself down at night, and it's actually been working a lot. I think it was a good starting point to kind of start getting back that feeling of just enjoying a game again, because what I was doing was playing Animal Crossing, and then I got Pokopia, so I started playing that too, and Legends ZA before that. And I would just, sit in the love seat downstairs while my husband was playing Pokopia in the big screen, and so we would just parallel play like that. And it was actually, it was a really nice kind of experience, because it was very low maintenance. Like, I literally just picked up the Switch and sat down, and I think it did a lot to kind of help me get back to that groove. Whereas before, I was struggling with finding almost like a reason to play. And even if I had time, like after dinner and after I've completed all of my chores, and then I would sit down, I would end up wanting to scroll, like doom scroll, because that was less friction than starting up a game. And it was something that I was actually doing really well on not doing, and then I relapsed. And it kind of became harder to get back to that previous state of just playing for the sake of playing. And I also think as soon as I started to get the ball rolling on this YouTube thing, I suddenly had a different, not a different, it's still more or less the same relationship, but there's an underlying layer, so to speak, where whenever I'm playing a game, I'm constantly thinking about, I need to get footage for this. So that kind of turns the dynamic on its head, because now there's something else that I'm occupying my head with, whether that be, oh, I'm just going to play like 30 minutes to get the specific gameplay footage. And I would switch between games because when I'm writing the script and I'm storyboarding, I have specific clips that I have in mind for specific topics and for specific parts of the script. And so if I don't already have that footage, I'm going to, kind of drop what I'm doing and start... Oh, shoot. Should I be looking at where these are supposed to go? I'm just like grabbing everything and I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna stop grabbing things because that was my problem. All right, where was I? Oh no, this always happens. I don't know what I was talking about. What was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about the... Oh, not again. Oh, I'm gonna be stressed out again. Okay. Let me just get through this part and then I'll resume. The problem is I don't know who's chasing me. Because some of them... Hello? Oh, shoot. Where is my gun? Oh, kill me now. Okay, wasn't there two people? Where's the other one? It's... Oh. Oh, God. Dude. Bruh. Okay, I totally panicked. Okay, I think that's... Oh, that's not everyone. There we go. See what happens when I don't panic? Okay, this is actually really stressful. He's chasing me. Leave me alone. Oh, you know what? While he wades through the water, I can, like, get a better aim. Alright, so... Where was I? Okay, again, I don't remember what I was talking about. So I started kind of removing that barrier, that friction to starting a game. And it's been working wonders. So there is kind of a caveat because if I want to play a PlayStation game, I have to sit down in front of a TV. And that requires its own system. And how it relates to the friction thing is... Let me just do this real quick. Make delivery. All right, where were we? So I was talking about reducing friction and how that's kind of been helping with getting into it without any, I guess you could say, feeling of responsibility in a way. Because, like I said before, since gaming is a big part of my identity, I feel obligated to play a game. I don't know if it's necessarily a healthy way of having a relationship with it, but that's just how I am with it, and that's how I've been since I was young. And so I think at this point my focus is maintenance. I don't even know what I'm trying to say now. Well, anyway, in terms of playing PlayStation games where I have to make an effort to sit down and turn on the console and wait, there's still friction there. But what I've been doing, because I saw this online, someone said if you're having trouble not even starting a game, but even worse, continuing a game that you've already started but can't bring yourself to continue because, you don't have energy or you don't have time, or the entrance fee is a little too steep in terms of making an effort to starting up the game, is... If you stop playing a session in the middle or at the start of a new mission, it greatly reduces that entrance fee to starting up your next playthrough the next day or whenever that next playthrough might be. because you sometimes, at least for me, and this is how I've been, I guess, dealing with it was, or how this related to me, I should say, is if I stopped a gaming session just in a random spot, not really in between a mission or at the start of a mission, sometimes I think it's a big ask to try to figure out where to go next when you first sit down, because it can get kind of overwhelming, at least for me, because there's so many, if it's not like a single player streamlined linear game, if it's like an open world game or something, or many different side quests that you can do at the same time, it can get overwhelming because I don't know where to start, and or I don't know where to go. And adding on top of that, I'm, tired from working all day, or we finish dinner pretty late, and by the time I get to the gaming room, it's like maybe an hour before bedtime. I don't want to spend my time trying to figure out where to go. I just want to get into the action, right? So I think that advice was something that really worked for me, because it cut out a lot of decision making, which I'm already doing a lot in my personal life. So I mentioned this in the previous video. I want my handheld, at least right now at this moment in my life. And games like these, like Death Stranding, especially, has been really helping out a lot in that, because this game, everyone tells you what to do. You are literally a porter. So you're just taking one package from one place to the next, and they give you the destination. They even give you the item. So there's really not a lot of thinking going on. All you have to worry about is making sure you get to the destination, whether that be managing your stamina or managing how you carry the weight on your back. And I think that mundane aspect of this game is what's bringing it's what I think. Oh shoot. Oh, my shoes. And I think it's the mundane aspect of this game that kept me going back for it night after night. Like, I think this is like the third or fourth night that I've been playing this game, and I've been really, really enjoying it. I had my doubts at first because I've seen my brother play this a little bit back when it first released, and to me, it was literally just, you're just walking. You're not really doing anything. And so but he's been trying to get me to play this game for the longest time. So a couple of nights ago, I just decided to just start it, because I think the premise of, or at least what I understood to be the premise of just walking around and delivering packages, is enough of a gameplay loop that is not too challenging and also not too simple, where I'm just walking aimlessly. Like with here, I am walking, but I have to manage a lot of different things. And it tickles my brain enough to get into action without adding on top of what I'm already being stressed about. And also, this game is really, really gorgeous. I don't know if the PSSR did something, the PSSR update, but this game is really, really beautiful. In the end, there's no cure-all, right? It's all about trying to find what works, and that's a huge ask. It's if it was that easy, then I think a lot more people wouldn't have the same problem, because there would be one solution, right? And I think what makes this whole situation kind of difficult is you want to try to find what works, but you just don't have time or energy to keep trying different things until something sticks. Some people have that privilege, other people don't. So if you already don't have enough time or energy to even sit down maybe for an hour to try something to see if that's going to do the trick, if it doesn't work, it starts feeling like you just wasted that precious time, right? You could be doing something else with that hour instead of wasting it on something that didn't even work in the first place. And that's something that I don't think has an answer, because I think it's going to vary from person to person. Because if you don't try, at least, then you'll never find the answer. And I think navigating that divide, or that huge gap between what you would consider to be time wasted versus what you think could be actually benefiting from what you're being plagued by, which in my case is just a lot of stress, And I think it's a really fine line to, it's like a tightrope almost to try to get to the other side. So I'm starting to think of it more of a journey and not so much as a destination. Because once you get somewhere, once you get to your destination, that's the last stop, right? Theoretically, it would be the end of that. But life is not like that. I mean, until you croak, basically. Life doesn't have that stop. It's always, once you get to one destination, there's another destination that you're going to need to start making your way towards. And it just keeps going on and on and on. And so I think finding one concrete answer for this question of what do I do when I don't have time or I don't feel like starting a game because, or like I'm so stressed out, I don't know what to do. Like I want to play a game, but I just mentally cannot fathom sitting down and sitting in front of a TV and playing a game. I don't think there's one single answer for that. And it would be just kind of disingenuous of me to say, just try what works. Just try something until it works, because that sometimes works and sometimes it doesn't. And I think that's the most important thing to consider is admitting to yourself and or just even not even admitting, kind of understanding within yourself that maybe it's something that will never go away. And I don't know if that's pessimistic or not, but I think it's, for me at least, this is all, from my perspective. I think it's better to work towards something than to not start something at all, which is, why I started this YouTube channel, is because I wanted to try something new. Because I was feeling like I was walking around in circles like I'm doing right now. I'm walking around in circles. I'm carrying all this baggage that is really unsteady and is taking up all of my attention to just keep together. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. What was I talking about? Anyway, the main thing is, I think now that I know, or at least I'm starting to understand that there's not one cure, it kind of takes the load off of me because now I'm not pressured to find a concrete answer. And that gives me more control on what to do next. So I think that's the most important thing, is now that the pressure is off me to try to find something concrete that will 100% work, I can just go about it in a more casual way. If this works, then this works. And I think a lot of it too is it'll come to you when you least expect it, which goes for a lot of things. I wasn't expecting to enjoy this game as much as I did, especially with my preconceived notions about the game coming into it. And I'm having a lot of fun. It's literally just me walking around delivering packages, but I don't know if it's the universe or the setting or the characters, but everything about it, I'm just really responding really, really well to. And I didn't plan for it. And I was fortunate enough in this case that it didn't take me a long time, or at least multiple tries, to find something that I can actually be happy about sitting down or being excited to play after I get off of work like this. So I think this is a good thing because I have finally gotten over that hump that I thought I wasn't going to be able to climb over for another month or so just because of everything that's going on. And I take that as a win. I think the best advice, I'm not a therapist, obviously. So I don't have any basis for this advice, but this is just how I'm making sense of the whole situation with my own experiences. Is it's hard not to put pressure on yourself. I do it all the time. But I think it's really important to give yourself permission to get lost in a game. And if it doesn't work, then it doesn't work. You can always try again. And that's the good thing about video games is there's so many options, right? The most significant problem we face is just lack of time, especially now. As a millennial, we're getting older so fast. Like it's already April. 2026 just started. So I think there's no one singular answer. It's just trying to recontextualize the situation that you're in and trying to apply that to what works. It's not the best advice, but it's an advice. And if something works for you that I didn't know about, that would be something that I could try next time. But right now I am enjoying where I am. I'm really liking this game and I can't wait to deliver more packages. I don't know what else to say. So I think I will leave it off here with this beautiful vista yeah, I think I'll end it here. And this has actually been kind of cathartic in a way. And I am liking these kinds of chatty gameplay videos because one, it's less to edit, and two, it's just really fun to see kind of where my mind takes me, especially because I get distracted so easily. So this has been a really fun experience. So we'll see if I go back to my usual videos, but I'm liking this so far. And in saying that, thank you so much if you're watching, have watched, or will watch in the future. And I hope you have a great rest of your night. Bye bye.